Hello guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be doing a video of hyping up my tour of my house. Um, Judging by the way I said tour, I think you'll know that this tour is actually fake. It's not actually going to be a real house tour. However, it's going to be a house tour made in Blender. So, this video is just specifically for hyping it up. The next thing I do in this, I will be explaining how I did it and showing how I did it, as opposed to how my dad gave me an idea. I was like, Dan, I haven't uploaded a video in a long time. Maybe I should make one. And I was like, hey, this is really good. Maybe you should do this as a video. You should explain how you made this. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, but like now I've already made it, and so it's too late. So next thing I'll do that. But yeah. So today I'll be doing a quick explanation, not really explanation in depth, but like kind of a brief overview of how I did this. By the way, this computer isn't actually done, I've just realized. But okay. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is how wide and how long the room is. So this room is actually how long and wide the room that I'm actually sitting in. This is the room that I'm sitting in. I'm sitting about right here looking at my laptop from this view. And this room actually is exactly as big, or maybe not exactly, maybe not down to the atom, but down to the inch how big this room is. So what I did first is I went to here. I got a sneeze because I'm sick. And now it went away. My gosh, it's back. Okay. So, because I am American, I use the imperial system. So the first thing I did is I changed the units to imperial because all my measuring tapes are in imperial. I changed it to inches. Why not feet? Well, because I trust inches more. They give on the measuring tape 1 point. They don't say you can't say for feet. It'd be weird because for feet it would be 0.5 feet. Well, since there's 12 inches in a foot, that's 6 inches, but like then what's 0.4? You see what I mean? So I do inches instead. And I can go 1.5 inches because these inches are divided into tens. So, sorry for that snort right there. And that's the first thing I did. Then I measured it. I did a box. That's the first thing I did. I did a cube. I scaled the cube. I put it only on the positive axis. All these things right here. Oh my god! I'm gonna get rid of circle select before I kill all my stuff. Everything in here is actually this room was actually a box. All these walls. I made a box, and everything in here is actually on the positive axis. So then what I did is I scaled it up. And then inside inside of the box, those perfect diameters, I scaled it up by no, I don't think I did that. I think I shifted it, and then I barely scaled it up so all the walls became I think they would become 3 inches thick. And then what I ended up doing is I just connect the walls and I separated them. And by the way, this is all these the collections are really useful because now I don't have to look, even though let's look at how much things I've been how much stuff I've put into this. I don't have to look at it at all. I can just be like, nah, I'm good. I can just hide that all away. So these collections are extremely useful. So anyways, the next thing I did is I measured how big my doorway is. This is so I made the doorway in, and then I started doing this chair. So this chair was actually fairly easy. I was able to put in a cube here. I measured how thick this cube was, and then since the chair is actually curved right here, what I did is what you do for curved surfaces is you subdivide. Like let's say I'm gonna explain this using the back of the because both sides are divided. Okay. What about the back of that? So you'd want to subdivide it. So you'd want to select. Let's say these were two same edges right here. You'd want to select these like this. Then you'd want to subdivide, except they'd be one edge, so you'd only have to go click. Like I'll use it right here. Click and click. Subdivide. Oh no, because there's edge split on this. If there was an edge split, then a line would appear halfway between this edge and this edge. and then I'd be able to move it out. No, come on. I want global. Okay, so 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm able to approximate this. So I'm just gonna start from where the cube is. I was able to scale up the cube, and then I shrunk and then I made the walls. I scaled them a little bit so that each wall was 2 feet thick. I was able to separate the walls. Oops. And then for this chair, how you make bevel surfaces is you'd subdivide it like this. Since this is edge split, this is not the best example, but you do that, and you subdivide, and bam, it creates a thin in half. And I can take GZ, and I can bevel. So yeah, that's basically how this works, how making a subdivided surface like that works. So also for this chair, what I did is I actually used a mirror modifier. I only had to create half of these legs. I was able to bam. Mirror foot modifier has been really useful for me because a lot of these things in my house are like, identical. If you look at them from like, the front, like this one, or the side, to see these two I just mirrored. This I actually think, no, I don't know, it wasn't. But you see I used the bevel surfaces a lot on this one, on this little chair right here. This took me about 30 minutes to make. Next to the easel, this is going to be canvas. This one was harder, it took 2 hours. This one, this metal pole, what I did is I made it a cube and then I beveled each side. I rotated it, barely. But this is a big thing. It looks like I rotated a lot. This, what I did is I just took edge loops of this one and I shrunk them down so that they're this big, and then I beveled each. And then since the edge loops for this one were already made, I didn't have to do any edge loops or anything like that. So for this one, I just made a little cube. Bam, pretty easy. For this, by the way, I recommend for all spheres that you make, if you're going to do smooth shading like I do, become 64 vertices whenever you add them in. Otherwise, it's just going to oof. It's going to look terrible with smooth shading. And for this one, for making this originally was a sphere. What ended up happening is, I think it was a sphere. Yeah, it was a sphere, and what I did is I scaled up this back edge right here. I scaled it up. And then what I ended up doing is, I took this thing, I Shift-D'd it, and then I scaled it. I put it in my Booleans collection, and I also scaled the edge of that up, so that, and because you can see it's done right here. And then right here, I took Metaball. I took, what is it? The capsule, I think, or is it? Yeah, capsule. Where the heck did that add that? Add that right here. I took the capsule, I converted it to a mesh, which you could just do by searching up in the inspector, or not the inspector, but whatever this little menu is called. And I took metaballs and I converted to mesh, and then I used the Boolean modifier. I used the spin. I used the spin, whatever you call that tool, in here to make 4 instances of it. And then to make 4 instances of it at 360, and then bam, here it is. And then for this also, I booleaned this little edge right here just because it looked terrible with smooth shading on. For this part right here, I just did a whole bunch of extruding, which was excruciatingly painful. This one, the same thing. And for these little holes right here, obviously I used spheres. And why is my clip start at 1? Okay. I used spheres and I just made that hole right there. And also, it doesn't have to be, things don't have to be perfect. As you can see here, these nuts, I know that sounds wrong, but this right there, I used, see if you zoom in on it, it looks really bad, but get back, like, right here, can't tell the difference. There's no reason to make it too detailed, fix it all up, because nobody's ever going to look at it from that close anyway, so, like, even if I use it for a game, so there's no point. For this, I just duplicated this and oops, where is it? This, and I moved it down a bit. For these little holes inside here, you know what I used? I used spheres, bam, basically drilled holes. This one, I just duplicated the spheres from this, made them bigger, and then made the stand there. then all these casts were originally the same thing. So this one in all took, like I said, about 2 hours to make. Now onto my desk. So right now I'm actually sitting right here looking at my laptop from this view. About right here, in case you guys didn't know that. So what I did with this is I took a cube, I scaled it up. For the door I just took a cube and I beveled the edges. I deleted one side of it and hold on. Let's see what this looks like. I can't tell, is that solid or... Yeah, so what I did is I just scaled the cube really thin and then I just beveled the two sides. And this is actually two separate drawers, but because nobody's going to know the difference, I just made it one giant drawer that will open, you know, like, let me just move it real quick. See, like that. And I also was able to use the array or the mirror modifier. So these are actually the two the same thing. This I just used the mirror modifier. Mirror modifier has been really useful. These two are originally the same thing. I just used the mirror modifier. For this, I took a cube. I beveled this side. I scaled this side out. I used the subdivide technique to get a bevel edge out, and then I beveled it. You're gonna probably use more bevels than you usually would use because of the fact that smooth shading is freaking rough. You need a lot of triangles in order to make it look good. See right there, it looks kind of bad right here, but you're not gonna look at it for a long time to notice that. So for this, I just took a cube, I scaled it down a little bit, I beveled, and I used the Boolean modifier to get that little indent right there, which I could stick this in. I just took a cube, and I don't remember what I did with that. I think I took another cube, I Booleaned it right there. Now what I did with this is I took a cube, I used the subdivide technique, got an edge, I moved an edge out on the y-axis. By the way, this was originally all facing towards the y-axis, or facing in the direction of the y-axis, if you know what I mean. And I just rotated it 45 degrees, a lot easier. This is still painful to me. Didn't turn out as I wanted it to, but there's no point going back, and it looked good enough. This is what my dad's monitor is. And then this, yeah, I've already gone over this, and then I just took, this was originally a cube, and I moved it up, and I extruded it, and I just beveled that side a lot. And then here, I had to fix this up a little bit. There were like edges all over the place in here, so it was more triangles than needed. So overall, this probably took me about like 3-4 hours. Saving time on these drawers using the mirror modifier was pretty helpful, just in general. So the things I'm going to do next are the bookcase that is right here. Since the fan is too complex and nobody ever notices the fan anyway, I'm not going to do the fan. I just realized that I've missed the handles to the drawers in here. I'm probably also going to do the little whatever you call these. Dad, what do you call these right here? Dad, what do you call these right here?
Bevels?
No, this right here.
The hinges?
Hinges. I'm going to have to do the hinges on these drawers. I'm going to have to do the handles as well, and then I'm also going to have to do my dad's roll in, roll out keyboard, or little platform there for the keyboard. Making the keyboard itself would be too much of a pain in the arsehole. Okay. Who the heck is Sans Twitch Tacos? No idea. Probably some guys. My friends like changing their names a lot, and I have no idea why. But yeah, these are actually 3 separate pieces, and I made that visible by adding this little gap between them. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. I've put probably around like 7-8 hours of work into this now. Maybe 9, 10. 10 at most. I like it so far. It's been turning out pretty good. See you guys next time. Goodbye. Please subscribe. Please do. Please.